Hello, welcome to our Hangout. What is the Hangout link in case anyone wants to get to the Hangout link?
Well, you can access it at plus.google.com and then /plus America's Third Party. There's also an event page right here.
So you can just join us at America's Third Party. That is our connection at YouTube and Google. I'm not high, Sandy. I am low. I'm extremely low. And if you want to get really low, I can pass some low blows your way. David, what did you say happened to your tooth? My tooth was damaged due to a small bone inside of a USDA-approved sausage. And I'm still trying to negotiate a settlement on the cost of repairing the tooth, and instead I've chosen a different pathway. I'm going to get facial recognition surgery so that I can alter my facial features. I've decided to spend upwards of, well, I'm not going to tell you the number, to make myself look different so you won't recognize me on my own show. I wouldn't put a crown on my front tooth, Waffen. That'd make me look like I got a grill or something, man. I could pay $300 right now and get the tooth fixed, but that's not the whole point. I'm not running for President of Canada. I'm simply running for President of America at this time. But thank you so much. But of course, Waffen, but that's the easy way out. If I went to my Jewish dentist, he could charge me the $300, but I'm going to get veneers. I'm one step ahead of you, baby. I want a perfect smile. I don't want to be messing around with some chipped tooth and a kind of an off-color one. ISIS could be handled very easily. We simply tell CIA operatives to stop funding ISIS, and then they'll wilt on the vine. Then we'll do surgical strikes to wrap up and clean up any of the excess Sunni rebels that are giving our Iraqi allies problems in cities that are under siege right now. That's right. Well, Pre-Grim, what about national food could be gerbil meat? What about the possibility of marinated gerbil meat? Gerbilicious. I'm thinking of raising gerbils as an alternative for the coming apocalypse. You know, is it possible to get a service gerbil? So that whenever I go out to places in the area, I have this signed affidavit saying, this is my service gerbil. And anyone who says, you know, how you doing? I would say, we're doing great. And then he'll say, what do you got, a mouse in your pocket? And I'd say, actually, no, it's a gerbil. And I have this little thing squeaking around in front of me and put it right back in there. Yeah, get a service gerbil. Let's talk about something else. Well, Sandy Pants, we construct a website. We tell everybody how to get access to the website. It's called americasthirdparty.com. You can go to the state of your choice and find out all the voting laws in your state to get me on the ballot. And then we can sit back and wait and watch none of you do it. So that pretty much sums up the past 6 years. But you'd rather talk about unwanted erections and meatloaf and gerbils. So we talk about that in between talking about the important issues like saving our economy. The color looks bad. I agree. Let me go to the color camera again. I was messing with the video inputs. I'm going to do some more changes on it. There we go. There we go. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Do you like? Now you like that better. Yeah. Boo, yeah. Okay, good. Welcome to our Hangout. We finally got on there, and we haven't talked much really about anything other than Hybrid Capitalism, the book that Sarah and I wrote in 2012. It's a good book. It focuses on ways the government can get a return on investment and shrink its large, incredible budget. And we're talking 77,000 employees right now in America are paid $150,000 a year. That's a big problem. Because a lot of you guys and girls are not making more than $30,000 a year, and you're seeing these fat cats in the bureaucracy think they got permanent jobs, standing around bragging about it. Do you have any relatives that come to your family meetings brag about their government jobs? Everybody's going to has to have at least one of those people. And they all say, oh yeah, I'm tenured, I'll never get fired. We had one of these people at one of the family gatherings we went to recently. And he was saying, yeah, Mom makes $120,000. Your mailman makes $120,000 per year. I got a government job, and nobody's ever going to take that away from me. No, this is my blue tie, Ed. I'm not religious. I am a very spiritual person, though. Yeah, that's about it, I know. And they all say, oh, yeah, I'll never get fired. I'm practically tenured. And then I have to raise my voice and say, hey, by the way, what state are you in? California? Oh, they're $542 billion in debt right now. And that kind of silences them.
Good luck, Batch New York.
I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the U.S. debt clock. Let's put it out. The U.S. debt clock is an ongoing national debt clock ticking away. It's called debtclock.org. And you can find all the different states and their debts at this location. I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of the U.S. debt clock. We've got about an $18 trillion debt now, folks. It's serious. So, see this thing? It's a living, breathing entity here. 17.658 is what it is. It's going to be 18 trillion very shortly. Is that better?
A little bit.
Okay, this is the debt that I'm referring to. Now I'm going to go into the debt clock, find out what the debt is at the state level. Let me search here. You have gold, supply, demand, home sales. Home sales, let's take a look at home sales. I never looked at that tab. Okay, home sales. Pretty solid. Home sales have remained relatively stable, as you can see, all the way to 2013. So roughly the average sale price in America now is about $215,000 on a house, existing house, and $330,000 on a new house. And since 2008, the number of housing sales have remained very stable, picked up a little bit this past year. It's right around the same as it was last year, but prior to that, in 2006, we had 67 or 6 million home sales that year. Interesting. So we still haven't recouped from the 2008 period prior to the 2008 period. All right, so thank you for coming in there and talking about the debt clock. We get rid of this, and I'll let Sarah talk for a while. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
The next fiscal cliff is whenever they're, I don't know when they set it for. Is it 18 months or something?
Be sure to talk up because many people can't hear you.
That's okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think they set it up for $20 trillion now, the new limit. So there is no fiscal cliff anymore. They just keep expanding it and putting up new constructions. 2014 has some sort of Ebola in town, Shadow and Cuzzy. You know, making a song about Ebola doesn't seem like a good thing for me. Sandy Pants, you're right. Most likely only millionaires can be president because our system is terribly corrupt. So my fantasy about wanting to become a president and helping this nation really is kind of a fantasy. Many people say I'm deluded. It's not a delusion. I know that the chances of becoming a president the chances are very low in real terms based on what you just said. Truly. I wish it wasn't the case. Hey, Fist of Goodness. Well, what's wrong with making $150,000 in a government position? Guess 964 is I can make 5 jobs for $30,000 a year. Or better yet, I can make 4 jobs for $120,000 a year at $30,000 a job. Of 4 qualified people versus 1 fat pig who calls himself governor of New Jersey. I'm just saying, there's a lot of people that could get jobs, and we can still save $30,000 a year. Sarah had a good game today. She played Hitman, right?
Yes.
Well, I thought you going to law school and becoming a military officer would be a good pathway, but unfortunately I'm white. I can't go to law school, and I'm not Jewish. So it kind of rules me out. I have seen the Toronto mayor, yeah. He's a sight to have sore eyes, actually. He's probably somebody I can just throw at you right now.
I want to release this video. It is what it is, and I can't change what guys say. And I don't know. I might try that. Yes, it's my mistake. I know. I know. I know. And that was wrong. For it. Looks how you think for it. It's too first off the ball. For it. It's a fact. I still I don't recall. I want to be. I smoke now.
All right. Crack is wrong. Crack is very wrong. I'm not quite at my twerking. My lower back kind of gets thrown out whenever I start twerking, so I'm going to cut my twerking activity to a minimum right now. Yeah. So I don't recommend any of you become crack addicts. One of the reasons we talk about weed on this great fortnight is it is a wonderful beneficial drug, or I'd call it herb. It could actually help you and won't be physically addictive like crack or cocaine or methamphetamines. So we do support legalization of marijuana. We are pro-legalization at the national level. That means when I become president, I will remove marijuana from the list of controlled substances. Okay, that's my promise to the American people. You're going to like marijuana because it's not something that's super addictive. Crack is whack, and speed kills. Yep. All right, great. I'm glad this is Weed Wednesday. Guest 844, yeah. I'm not calling you a dope head. Traditionally, dope heads were heroin addicts. Most people don't realize that. When you look back on the colloquialisms used during the 1960s, you'll realize that when they said don't do dope, they meant don't do heroin. And now with heroin so cheap because Barack Obama has enabled all those warlords in Afghanistan to make record profits from heroin, you got a president who's a total hypocrite. And he basically has said openly that he has smoked marijuana most of his political adult life, yet he won't legalize it. Weed's a lot better than beer, yeah. No, I have not referred to marijuana smokers as dope heads. I call them potheads. You need to go back to the Urban Dictionary and look that up. No, Sarah's really just been kind of busy. She's ramping up, getting ready for the school year. She loves to sleep.
Yeah.
I know. Somewhere in Kenya, a village is missing its idiot. Fist of goodness. That's classic. I'm going to award you the brownie point of the night for the best chat dialogue so far in our chat room.
Thanks, 3705.
That was great. Epic. One brownie point to Fist of Goodness. All right. A hillbilly heroin user, a total loser. Your brother-in-law is probably bringing down $1,200 a month as a heroin addict. If you become a heroin addict, and you probably will get $1,200 a month and get to go to the methadone clinic. And if you're really nice, you'll get a snacky poo every time you get your methadone. Methadone is synthesized heroin. And you'll be bringing in $1,200 a month of federal and state money. It's free, yeah. You can get free heroin, Sandy Pants. I know. You get your snacky poo right after your injection or your pills. Yeah, methadone is on the outs, and you would know that, Waffen, in that you're probably on methadone. They give out Suboxone now. Okay, great. All right, we looked at the debt clock. We covered the bases there.
Are we broadcasting all over?
Yeah, we're doing, in fact, Ustream. Somebody had a podcast they wanted to watch on Ustream. Ustream comes in the best, I think. You know, we wouldn't want to kill any drug users. I'd want to wean them off their drugs by giving them the ability to smoke marijuana. It could be a podcast. Yeah, exactly. See, pot, I think, can have remedial effects, can lower the amount of addiction in other areas. I've talked to crackheads that say, no, man, it's a totally different high, man.
I thought this was a podcast in a way.
This is a podcast. Hey, Discount. Go ahead, buddy. We got the Rodster on. What's on your mind, Rodney? Hey, hello? Can't hear you, man. He just calls and interrupts the show. Well, that was your one and only call. I didn't hang up, no. You know, I'm too intelligent for this crap. 6204. So please, and I won't lean on your chair. I did pick up.
No, that's okay.
It's the Google network. It is not working right. Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Hang up on you. We just ran out of rings there, you know what I mean? While you were scattling around there trying to find a dog.
All right, buddy, what's going on? What's your question tonight? Yeah.
Maybe you already covered this. I was away from the show for a while. What do you think of Uncle Barry's pussified speech this morning? And him ending up on a golf course not 20 minutes after him making that pussified speech.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. Everything he's been doing is for show. He doesn't really do a job. He just reads a teleprompter and does whatever his handlers tell him. So, I mean, what do you mean, what do I think about it? It's the same thing he's been doing for the past 6 years. Business as usual. I mean, there's no surprises with this guy. This guy's a wrestler.
Okay, let's move on then.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on the governor of the state of Missouri and his irresponsible rhetoric?
He's intimidating the situation. He's not mitigating the circumstances. I say bring the National Guard in and have them do a love-in and sit down and share their love with everybody.
I'm referencing his comments from yesterday saying that there should be a swift prosecution against this officer.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Yeah, swift prosecution, yeah. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
100 years ago, we'd string that fucker up, you know what I mean? Discount.
Well, you're talking about the African-American that was stealing the cigars and pushing and brandishing, grabbing a weapon from a police officer?
Him too. I'm talking more about the governor, though, in this case.
Oh, yeah, you string him up? Nah, you know.
Yeah, it's like yelling fire at a movie theater, Discount.
Yeah, it just shows his
unacceptable.
It shows his irresponsibility as a governor. I really believe that you're seeing a breakdown of all politics at every level. A lot of these people get the job because they sucked up, and they're basically a suck-up. So a guy like that is sucking up. He's not even leading, unfortunately. So we've got a problem with leadership at the governor levels. Did I lose you? Are you still on?
No, I'm here, man. You know, the problem is half these bastards are all compromised. You know, they're a bunch of queers or drug addicts, and somebody's holding photographs of them over their head and basically, you know, making their ability to govern non-existent.
Exactly, man. Totally agree. I'm going to add this call to the caller. Hang on.
Call from
Kids on the street.
to add this caller to your current call.
All right, back to you, Rodney. I don't want to interrupt your train of thought. You're onto a really good point about American governors like that just caving in to public pressure and just pandering to a violent, riotous mob of looters who are seemingly dictating policy in Michigan, or excuse me, Missouri. Thank you.
Same difference, man.
Well, Hill, Rodney does have a point tonight, and he's working on developing his points further. How's that self-help course going, making a point in chat.com? All right. I think that.
Okay, well, hey, Discount,
Yeah.
I'll let you get back to your program. I want to give a shout out real quickly to Rod Nation, all the fans out there.
All right. Thank you, Rod Nation fans. Great to have you tonight. If Rodney has another point, and he's working through a 12-step program of trying to come up with a point during a chat show, and I think he made a good one talking about the way the governor acted. Yeah. You don't like Rod Nation? Okay. The string him up point was a bit brash, but he has every right to be angry. You're angry, Rodney. I understand. Let your anger out. Embrace it. Give yourself a little feel-good hug and go, oh, I'm so angry. Ooh. And just love yourself and embrace your anger. But just don't get too violent. Yeah, we want all of, hello, Bish. We are required to give you attention because it's you. And Rodney's here. You two are like, Rodney's trying to hit on you, Bish. Try to avoid it as much as possible. We don't know what's going on here. He wants you as the new Sponheim girl. I don't know how Candy Rain feels about that. Is she willing to relinquish her throne?
Who said you were limited to one?
I could have many. You're right.
You could have a whole harem.
I could, but I'm not like Bill Clinton. I don't plan on having hanky-panky in the White House. I never had sexual relations with my wife, Hillary. Not once, except for when we had Chelsea.
That's good, Amy Pie. I'm glad you took a shower.
Hi, Amy.
David took a shower at the beginning of the show. And I took a nap.
So in a way, we all had our collectively separate showers and naps. Thank you. I don't know why you're doing this, Waffen. Be nice to Bish. She's a wonderful person. I don't think anyone should get their body tattooed, especially with our ATP sign on it. Do not defile your flesh. Respect your body that the Lord gave you. That's right. Now, if you have a lot of tattoos, that's a different story. You can just start marking it up and just go for it. But if you haven't done anything to defile the flesh, do not defile the flesh. Thank you, Hill. Say amen. Amen to that, brother. Amy Pie doesn't have any tattoos. How many in the room are plagued with the evil signs of the devil on their body? Nobody's tattooed? Wow, we got a real select group of people here. How disgustingly disrespectful. Desire to live in a fantasy of impressionable drug-dependent women. What? All right. So Roddy doesn't believe in tattoos either. Nobody here believes in tattoos. You know, we have a very interesting bond in this chat room. Nobody wants tattoos. Isn't that weird?
Never knew that before.
I bet a lot of people don't watch TV commercials either.
How many of you watch TV commercials?
You have ATP tattooed on your forehead? Ah. Are you sure you didn't put an X in your forehead like Charlie Manson? You just forgot to just cross the T.
My surname is Hart, H-A-R-T.
You could lose all your family's money, I know. The body is the God's temple. You cannot deface it. 218's admitting he watches a lot of porn, or she watches a lot of porn, one or the other. Well, this is kind of a tell-all kind of moment where we all reveal inner secrets about ourselves. Waffen says he's got my tattoo that you served on in the USMC. Oh, okay. Is that when everyone found you like face down with shaving cream on your back? Oh, man. That's no way to get a tattoo.
You don't want to do that, Rodney. Bish might get jealous.
Yeah, Rodney.
You're pregnant? That's your inner secret? Okay.
My gosh, you're pregnant.
Did you tell the father of the child?
Yeah. Have you broached it with the guy? The dude? Hey, buddy. Congrats, Bish. Yeah, congrats. I hope you want to keep the baby. It sounds like a blessing. 218 wants to get an abortion. This is kind of open topic night. We could talk about that. You know, we used to have open topic night Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
The dude. Yeah. Have you talked to the dude yet about it? You don't know who the bleep the dad is? My, you have a very active sex life. I feel like Dr. Ruth on steroids.
Let's talk about time travel.
I know. Let's talk about time travel. Much more relevant. Okay. Let's bring up. We've got a clip here of a time traveler from 1938. It's going to rock your socks off.
Actually, the time traveler wants to change the subject.
Oh, I'll just play this in the corner of the screen. Check this out. This woman is carrying a cell phone. And it's 1936, I believe. Check it out. Here we go. You'll notice that none of these images were altered. Everything has remained the same. Intact footage. Here we go. This is it. Here she is. Check this out. It's a good video, Rodney. Okay. Thanks, boys and girls. The funny part about that video is that was my mom.
Looks like her.
That was my mom. She was talking to me on the phone in the future. It couldn't be a recreation, I know. It's possible. No, it was actually my mother talking to me. She's saying, "Davy, I hear you. Hello, Earth to Davy."
We didn't have FM back then, 5532.
Well, that's no way to talk about my mother. They had iPods back in 1935, that's right. Dave, your show sucks. Wow, just because you didn't like that time traveler video, you'd prefer to watch Rob Ford? Okay.
I want to release this video. It is what it is, and I can't change the past.
All right, Sarah, let's talk about how we could cut waste in the government. I know, it's getting old, I know. What about non-U.S. citizens, all the money they charge us, welfare and Section 8 housing, and, you know, when a woman comes into our country with a baby, an anchor baby, those anchors are heavy and they need to be supported, so they give them a place to stay. Yeah. Well, it's probably because we're broadcasting too often. Let me pull off of one of my broadcasts. I'm going to pull uVlog off. He's an embarrassment. Rob Ford is. Okay. We didn't change the subject, Biff. We just didn't want you to go through an emotional outbreak dealing with what you're going to do with your child and not knowing the father, okay? I didn't want to just change the subject and leave you hanging there. But thank you. We do. The worst part is, remember Marion Davies, the guy who was mayor of D.C.? He actually got arrested on cocaine possession charges. When he was released after serving jail time, he ran again and won again. I'm wearing the pants here. Not Marion Barry, Marion Davies. I was wrong. It's Marion Barry. Thank you, guest 769. You are correct, sir. I'm not spinning anything. Yes. Sarah is not pregnant, and there's not a pregnant Sponheim girl out there that I know of. Bish never sent me a video. Okay, well, what if we just turn this whole show into some sort of a review of the budget, like?
Or news.
Yeah, let's go to the news side, because obviously news is an important aspect. Let's take a look here. We do need to track the economy too. We haven't checked. Go to hit the news button for me. It's absurd. Wintard's here. Someone was forgetting her specialness.
Yeah,
hello, Wintard.
Hello. She's been in here since the beginning.
I know. Wintard was feeling a little put off just now, feeling like people were just focusing on Bitch.
I know. You've got to treat all of your ladies with
equal respect. Thank you, Wintard.
Love.
U.S. has tried to rescue slain American journalists and other hostages. We've sent a team of special operations forces to Syria this summer to try to rescue slain American journalist James Foley and other hostages held by Islamic militants. I'm not sure why we're getting that. In Ferguson, Holder recalls his own humiliating experiences with the police. Now, Eric Holder, they couldn't create a problem with Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton, so now Eric Holder is taking center stage here. And he's saying something about his relationship with police when he was younger. Eric Holder is trying to stir up a race war here. In Ferguson, Eric Holder recalls his own humiliating experiences with police. See, we can't get a race war, so now the Attorney General comes in to try to trigger hostilities. He visited Ferguson on Wednesday, meeting with students, community leaders, and parents of Michael Brown in a fast-paced series of gatherings that coincided with one of the most peaceful days since August 9th's fatal shooting of the unarmed black 18-year-old touched off racial unrest. Holder sat down for lunch with residents at the dinner and blah, blah, blah. I mean, this isn't even a story. He described discriminatory actions he encountered years ago with state troopers in New Jersey and police officers in Washington, Georgetown neighborhood. Well, I'd like to describe some of the discrimination I've received by being labeled a white person. Why is that important? It isn't even a story. It doesn't even qualify for a nightly repeat. Thank you. All right, great. Okay, it's not because you're white. See, that's why people troll you. You say such dumb crap like that. You pinched my loaf, accused me of something last night. We have 77 battle cameras in there, right? How is the form tonight? It's going well. I'm a little bit worried about my pecs, though. I think I need to do a few more push-ups. I mean, I'm getting massive in the upper body, and it's not exactly what I was looking for. I wanted a more sculptured look. I was a victim of affirmative action. I'm a product of great teaching in the public school system, but I'm also a victim of affirmative action. They're not floppy. It's just that they're, I don't know, they're not, I don't know. How do you get them to, you know, be B cups? These are like small A cups right now. Now, here's a real relevant question. David, what kind of nipples do y'all have? I mean, what kind of a question is that, man? How do you know I'm human? You humans have these nipples, these areolas surrounding your nipples.
The Ebola toll, people dead from Ebola is 1,350, and Liberia police are shooting at protesters.
So last week it was 965, now it's 1,300 dead from Ebola, and people are still saying, oh, it's nothing to worry about. High weight, low reps, build muscle mass. High weight, low reps. I don't want to build muscle mass, Boss Hog. I'm trying to reduce muscle mass. My problem is I'm getting too bulky, and I don't even take steroids. I don't even juice up like Lance Armstrong, the former winner of 7 Tour de France's. Yeah, well, right now, Barry is inviting Ebola into our country. Last week, we brought in, what, 7 Ebola victims into our country? I would ban. If I were president, I would ban all flights inward from Africa. Same here, 831. I said that last week. My gut is not getting huge.
Yes, 6317.
I have a really good body weight. My BMI index is pretty low. I also, you know, I work out.
Real PR is doing all this work. You know, he owns a resort down in Mexico.
Yes.
So he's doing all this tile work in his bathroom.
Oh, really? That's cool. You know, that's the kind of tile you can put in for cheap and still make things look nice. That's a good move.
Yeah.
You know, you're not the only one buying property in Mexico, Real PR. The National Chinese just purchased a large chunk of land down near Cabo, San Lucas, and they brought 22,000 National Chinese into the Baja Mexico area. They're all given their small firearm and their duffel bag and given orders to go to San Diego. So we should have 22,000 National Chinese sneaking in through the border in Mexico pretty soon right now. My love handles are almost non-existent. I'm working ever so hard to sculpt my body on a daily basis, and
I think you look beautiful.
Well, thank you, but I'm still a little bit, you know, I'm trying to get rid of a little bit of baby fat that I've been carting around since, well, 1961. Just a little teensy amount of baby fat. And I remember when I got that baby fat, I was drinking my bottle. You know, my mommy put cream in my bottle. Yeah, I still have a little baby fat. I was a thin child until 10 years old when my mother said, David, you seem like you need to gain some weight. So she started making me drink cream. And pretty soon, my handle on reality is not having a problem, Harkin. I have a clear view of what our nation needs to get through and how we can solve problems facing our country.
Okay, thanks, 2269.
Yeah, I have a little baby fat right under the arm here. You know, so if I do some push-ups, I think I could get rid of it.
I don't drink coffee.
No, I don't believe in having my colon checked. I'm waiting for the new RFID video camera systems to be developed. I was telling Rodney this on the phone the other day. I was saying, Rodney, have you ever had somebody stick their finger up your butt? And he didn't really want to talk about it, but he says, oh yeah, I gotta get a colonoscopy. Remember when you said you should get a colonoscopy every year? Rodney was telling me I should get a colonoscopy. Dude, I'm not like you. I don't want someone to stick their finger up my butt. So I'm waiting.
If it means it can help you prolong your life.
It doesn't. That's all BS. The study done in Denmark recently showed that's not true. The colonoscopies don't prevent colon cancer. Travis. Hey, Travis. Hey, what's going on, man? Is this Travis Smiley? Hang on. Travis Smiley? Are you Travis Smiley?
Who's Travis Smiley? I never heard of him.
Oh, he's on NPR radio. He's a really popular Travis. You guys probably don't. You've never heard of him. Okay. So you're Travis. What's your question, Travis?
Yeah, I was wondering, like, I see you have the hybrid capitalism up there. Like, what would your views be on hybrid cars?
We like hybrid cars.
I love hybrid cars.
David drives a hybrid car normally.
Yeah, it's the future. Are you looking to buy one right now, or making some thoughts on that? I like them affordable. I think.
I've got some thoughts on it.
Yeah.
They are pretty affordable now. Last time they were like sky high, but the whole thing with the whole plug it in and to your house thing. Would you make some kind of like mandate that a certain amount of cars have to be sold in America that are hybrids?
You know, I'm not going to do the mandate thing that the Democrats do, but I would actually build a U.S. auto corporation and produce a hybrid car made in America for Americans, or for anyone who wants to drive it around the world. For $15,000, it'll get 100 miles per gallon. That's what I'm shooting for. So instead of mandating anything and forcing business to do anything, I'm just going to get into the ball game for America. There's no reason why American government can't actually get behind the production of one particular type of car. It could be the Model T of the future, a veritable car that'll get us all around. Well, it'll have an electric engine. It'll have regenerative braking like the Prius. It'll also have a gas-operated 3-cylinder engine, so it'll kick into gas whenever it runs short of battery, because no one wants to run out of battery strength. That's why hybrids are so successful. And it'll have 2 airbags, driver and passenger, and go 0 to 60 in 7.5 seconds. That's the kind of car I'm looking at.
Now, would you just like extend that to just like automobiles? What about like farming equipment and like production of all kinds of like whole electric thing, whole electric plants and things of that sort?
I love it.
Yeah, it's really great. Is even when you're talking about, I think farm equipment would be fantastic. I know that electric lawn care has gotten more popular in the last few years. We actually have an electric lawn mower, and also bought an electric hedge trimmer.
Yeah.
This past year.
We are using all electric on our property now. It's
actually a joy to mow the lawn rather than a...
No more fumes.
I didn't even know they had electric lawnmowers.
Oh, they're all over the place.
They're fantastic.
Yeah.
Ryobi makes one that we use. It's a 40 volt, and then that one. We really enjoy ours, because ours, it's like when you start it up, it's like vacuuming your lawn rather than mowing your lawn, and you don't have all the all the fumes that go with a regular gas mower. You don't have any of that.
Right, and I'd like it to do itself, and Husqvarna came out with this solar mower
We're going to be talking all about this tomorrow on Technology Thursday, but here's a solar mower that runs on a solar panel and mows itself around the yard. Anyway, that's something that's coming. It's going to be a battery-operated mower that mows itself. Amtrak is not efficient.
Oh, I'm sorry. Besides the electrical mower, like what are your views on hybrid, like fingering and baking with it?
Farm equipment, possibly. Farm equipment is, he mentioned farm equipment. That's probably the way to go.
Farm equipment would definitely be good.
You got a good heifer that needs to be moved. A good heavy forklift that's electric operated can move that heifer.
Tractors, things like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Well, this has been special. I'm going to go out and feed the fish. I know I've got a whole slew of koi fish that are hungry. They got their little mouths going right now. They want. No, I'm not Quebecian. David, your subpar tie of that tie combined with a generic Walmart white-collar shirt screams used car salesman. You should really take some lessons from Obama on political dress etiquette. Harkonnen, I can't take any lessons from Obama, primarily because he's a complete fake, and I'm real. Yeah, Quebecian. That's right. They are carp. They're not halibut. Are they carp for the halibut? The Quebecians are a new breed of reptilians invading the earth. Yeah, Obama is making America look like a fool and a coward, and he's lied to the American people for so long that it is disgusting. So please don't compare me to him. I'm the real McCoy. And this tie is actually awesome. Check out the pattern. That's a paisley pattern, originally developed in the 1890s and modernized and turned into this beautiful tie. It's part of the Perry Ellis portfolio collection. I don't do those Donald Trump ties. They kind of bore me with their simple pattern. It's a great pattern, Rodney, and you should look toward it as a beacon of light toward your religious future as a Muslim. Many of you are converting to Muslim or Islamic faith. Rodney, are you one of them? Thank you. ISIS is hunting me. I don't think ISIS needs to be hunting me. They need to just get out of Iraq real quick. No, I got the tie from my sister Connie. She bought it for me. It's part of the Perry Ellis collection, which I collect. I'm worried that Obama's current selection of ties is sending the wrong message to America and our allies abroad. Well, ISIS is funded by the CIA. Their training camps in Jordan are well documented. So Obama only has to call the CIA, his handlers at the CIA, and say, well, let's be clear. You're my handler. Could you please handle the ISIS situation? Thank you. That's all he's got to do. They'll pull out. There will be no penalty for early withdrawal. Well, let's be clear. Nothing's clear. Well, I wish the world had people like you too, Uncle Lester. More people like Uncle Lester. What the world needs now is more Uncle Lesters. It's simply not getting enough of Lesterism. Yes, the CIA did fund ISIS. No, it's true, Sharp and Outrage. You need to read up on that. Yeah, I mean Norwegian. It was the author in this case beaten by the other guy? Yes, Amy. He has a broken orbital. His eye socket was fractured. He was beaten up. Well, Harkonnen, thanks for being so critical. Obviously, you weren't big at the Newport Jazz Festival in 1969 like I was. I love jazz. I've always been a big popular fan of Miles Davis. And I don't believe that Barack Obama is the Miles Davis of politics. I just don't. He's more of the, I don't know, the Lex Luthor of politics. Well, Amy, I think that as I listen to the story play out in the news, and we're getting more and more information pooling in about what happened in Ferguson, it seems more and more apparent that this young man was attacking the police officer, and the police officer had to use deadly force to stop him. Apparently, the guy grabbed his gun. Yeah. Normally, I would say that this was an unnecessary killing of an innocent person, but he doesn't sound like an innocent person stealing cigars and bumping up against people. Yeah. So if it's all fake, Jerka fan, they sure did a good one. It hasn't triggered a race war yet. Just like Helter Skelter didn't trigger a race war in 1969 when the Tate LaBianca killings occurred. It's unlikely it's going to happen right now. I mean, look, we got David Nation in here. He's African American. He's not going to start getting angry here. I don't know David. No. You do get, yeah. This is what happens when you call a cop. I mean, there are a lot of things that happen. But when the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. And I can tell you right now, we don't need a lot of this going on. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do to remedy it real quick. This is what happens when you call the cop.
This is what happens when you call the cops. This is what happens when you call the cops. Come on. This is what happens when you call the cops. You get your rights violated or you all get shot. This is what happens when you call the cops. This is what happens when you call the cops. This is what happens when you call the cops. You get your rights violated or you all get shot.
All right, so that's what it's going on, yeah. If they put you on the ground, they beat you up. I don't want police brutality to occur in America, so what I'm recommending is any city that has cases of police brutality where they do not suspend the officer immediately with no pay, those cities will be facing a cutback in federal funding. Now, Obama hasn't said anything on this level. Eric Holder hasn't said anything on this level. Al Sharpton hasn't said anything on this level. The Right Reverend Jesse Jackson hasn't said anything on this level. That's why I'm saying it on this level. And I got to tell you, it's going to happen, man. I'm going to cut the federal funding for anybody that engages in brutality against African Americans. I'm outraged too, Sharpton. I understand your fear, your anger, and I understand the plight of your people. That you're trying to fight for their rights. I get it. Harkonnen, I'm not generalizing. I'm only talking about the bad seeds in the police farce. Okay? Well, if the police don't get no money, they won't be shooting no guns. Right now, the Department of Homeland Security just beefed up all the guns and armored vehicles and bullets around the country, and they're just sitting on all kinds of capital and potential firing pins ready to blow out at any moment. So I don't want racial profiling going on. I'd like to do that too, Uncle Lester. You should get together with some of the other friends from the badminton club when we visit you in Vegas. It'd be fantastic. Police should pull out all my... That's exactly my point, Sharpton. We don't need to fund a standing police army to violate people's rights. I understand the popular feeling among black people who are feeling racially profiled. You look at me, you probably say, there's a white guy. Or there's an albino. Well, the reality is, you're racially profiling me as white right now. Meow TV, are you thinking like the herd of cattle now, or is that what you're doing? Don't fall into the trap of buying this BS coming out of the media. They're just trying to foment a racial conflict right now to cover up the incredible economic hardship people are facing. No, I would not have them loot and vandalize their heart's content, Harkonnen. You can only loot and vandalize till everything's all looted and vandalized. And then you got to rebuild. But you don't rebuild a police state. There's other ways of mitigating the dangers of people being angry in cities like Detroit, Cincinnati, Ferguson. The way to do it is to help the economy and to build jobs. And to help people get those jobs, you've got to provide the training. I got to turn my mic back up, Sarah. Oh, God.
At least they could hear you, but just barely.
They couldn't hear me at all. I'm going to get out. I'll be back.
Okay. I was going to look at some video. Maybe I'll do that later. It's weird when David sits by me. I have color in my face. Anyway. But there's an interesting article in the Huffington Post today. Just came out about 2 hours ago about there was a shooting in St. Louis only about 4 miles from where the Michael Brown shooting occurred, where a gentleman robbed a convenience store and then the police shot at him. Do you guys want to see that video or not? Yes, and the guy had a knife. Sure, show it. Yes. Well, I don't know if it's chaos. We'll see, because I haven't seen it yet. Be forewarned that this includes graphic content. So, it's taken from a cell phone video. I'm sorry I'm not showing it on my Google Hangout. It was posted on Huffington Post, if you want to check that out. I can't hear this.
You just sold 2 sodas like fuck them off of the drink them. Hell no. He said straight put them on the ground, bro, like there somebody was touched. Hell, they so crazy.
The guy supposedly, I guess he stole some sodas and
This wasn't so dude. This crazy. What's up? What's up?
oh, sorry. Did I not make the video easy to see? Here.
Nah, police will pull up. See, y'all call police? Bagging up.
Maybe I can make it even easier to see.
Oh, shit. Oh.
Suck. It's about as good as it gets, sorry. Man.
Oh my God.
Let me see, I can maybe zoom it in for you guys. On.
Really good.
Right about right here. I think I played the wrong part. Dang it.
Nah, police will pull up. See, y'all call police? Bagging up. Got gun up.
Okay, I made the new signs.
Okay, just a sec.
Oh my God. Here we go again. They just killed this man. He is tough. He's dead. Oh my God. They just killed this man. He didn't have a gun on him. Now they cuffed him. He already dead. He already dead. Y'all see this for yourself. The man is already dead. They cuffed him. I got everything on camera. When the time it started and everything. Oh my God. They just killed him, y'all. He's dead. This is like, I don't even know what to do. Oh my God, he's still holding his gun out. The man is dead. Oh my God. Keep that man. Oh my God.
All right. We normally don't play with.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
I mean,
But-
it's nice to have references to them, but we don't make the show about videos. I mean, I'm only in my 6th year of broadcasting. All right, as you all know, that I actually faced a huge problem in my primary election locally, in which signs were taken away. Another cop shows up and shoots 6 more bullets into the guy. Wow. Unreal. Naughty. You would have given him 10 more bullets. Damn the trolls. Okay, so you don't make the show about videos. I only showed a small portion of the Larry Sinclair video. We don't. How long was this video playing? 3 minutes?
Or less.
Let's go ahead and play some more of it.
No, forget about it.
I don't mind watching people getting killed. I mean, if that's what you want to do to, get the lowest common denominator here. Okay. Yeah, that's what we do have a police force for, to make sure that people don't go out of control and go ballistic. No, that was not the man. Anyway, I make signs now for my campaign that are this big.
That's nice size. Wow, that's really nice size.
Yeah, and this is the new sign I'm going out all over the place. I got bunches of these things. And they're going to go in every single overpass. Stop Larson. Yeah, save nature. Because Larson supports the war machine. Hey, Rodney, how you doing? Hang on. Go. Let me make sure this is public. Go ahead. Hey, Dave.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
How are you?
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Dave, I was wondering, can I talk for a minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was wondering how you sleep at night, Dave, seeing as your blackface video has ignited all this civil unrest throughout the country.
It hasn't, Rodney. Blackface video is designed to be an integration tool to help people broach the divide. Yeah, let me ask you a question. Do you think that it's good to just not talk about your personal feelings, about your differences? Do you think it's okay just to be quiet and not ask people questions?
Did you just say ask people?
That's what I said, ask people questions, yes. When you ask people, don't you feel we should broach that divide?
Hey, you got to bring it up, Dave. You got to get that
Thank you.
300-pound monkey out of the room.
Well, it's actually 120 pound, and he's right now. It's just not something we want to talk about. All right, cool. Sarah's the best. You got a lot of followers, Sarah, that like you. I don't think people like Rodney as much as they like Sarah. Is that safe to say, Rodney?
Oh, definitely not. I mean, Sarah's a huge hit, and I got no problem with that, Dave.
I got no problem with it either. Yeah. Well, anyway, it's great hearing your voice, and your Rodney character has become world famous now that you've been riding on our coattails. What's it like being so successful as Rodney now that you've received so many viewers to your Rodney character?
Well, I'd like to just correct your statement there. You have been riding my coattails.
What? No. I mean, how long have you been doing the Rodney character? About 2 years or 6 months? Seriously.
Oh, shit, man. I've been doing characters my whole life, Dave.
No, how long has this Rodney character been on the internet? I mean, let's get specific. 2 years, 6 months, 8 months?
Specific to the Rodney character, that's something, yeah, a couple of years, I'd say.
So you predate us by about a year and 15, about a year and a half predated our show, because you came into our show about 8 months ago.
Hey, yeah. Believe it or not, yours is not the only show that I carry on my very broad shoulders.
You carry our show on your broad shoulders? You really have a high profile of yourself, don't you?
We got a bad back from this show, man.
Dude, you know, we don't need your help because we've had a show for 6 years before you even came into our show. So don't do this as like a sacrificial free BJ from a fluff girl. I mean, this is not what we need here. Seriously.
Hey, don't talk about fish like that, man. Hey, listen, you admitted it yourself last night. You said that I breathed fresh air into this program and may have saved its, longevity.
I don't think I said those words, but I did say you breathed fresh air into this room. I just didn't respond to the fact that it's got nicotine and all kinds of heavy carcinogens in the smoke itself. David, the fact that you continue to take Rodney's calls is undoubtedly that you need Rodney. No, I don't need Rodney. Rodney is a very persistent guy who calls us and makes himself known, and we've tried to keep him away and say, oh, you got to $69.99 or $49.99, I said was the donation. I gave that up. You're persistent enough and not too disturbing to bring in the show. That's how I see it. You see us as being carried.
You know who I am. You know I'm harmless, man. You know I'm just pulling your chain.
Yeah, there you go. So, I mean, we've enjoyed the interchange between you and us, but it's not ugly, it's not angry, it's not mean for the most part. So we invite your calls.
I've never threatened to murder your cat. Put it that way.
Exactly, and you don't put sites out there with pictures of dead bodies having sex, which is great.
Yeah, that's not my bag, man.
Anyway, to make off-added compliments toward you, to give you some credence, you have a great voice. You really do, and people like listening to you, and you've got good things to say. You've got important issues that are on the minds of the American people. So I'm adding more credence to you and pushing people who just don't have anything to say away. That's the whole point.
I appreciate the support, Dave. Part of the reason I like doing this is to drive some of these fucking trolls crazy. Their pathetic life, day in and day out, they just get to redirect their anger towards Rodney. You know what I mean? I know, yeah. I'm a sponge for negativity, man. Whatever helps get these people through their day and stops them from putting the bullet in their own head, I'm happy to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I can tell you, I don't want anyone to kill themselves over their political views, but you provide.
There's clearly a lot of angry people.
Yeah, there are.
On this site, and it manifests itself in Rodney. And all I'm saying is, I'm glad to be here to take that negative energy,
right,
as opposed to them pushing it out of themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I got to tell you, Rodney, you're towing the line for a lot of people in America who can't even get mainstream media attention. And you may have mainstream media attention, but you're towing the line for a lot of people who want to get their views about Muslim jihadists out, who want to talk about how our country is being turned into the resource to the entire world, and we're being mined by all these illegal aliens. I mean, your views are very important to us. So it kind of parallels what we're talking about every night on our show. We're not that far away from you politically. Thank you.
All right, well, you guys have a good final hour of the program.
Yeah.
I'll be sure to call back and put everybody to bed here in about 52 minutes, brother.
Thank you, Uncle Rodney. I appreciate you calling in. And maybe you can tuck us all in and give us a reach around. Take care. Bye-bye.
Not really into that, Dave, but I appreciate the offer.
It's going to get better, everybody. I mean, these Rodney calls are going to evolve. I have a feeling we're meeting a long-time troll in our show. and we're getting a chance to get to know this person better. That doesn't mean we're going to meet in person like we did with Hoppy. You know, that was a learning curve for us. We didn't realize what would happen when we went to this guy's place, and he met me, and he was like, "Hey, how are you doing? It's so nice to meet you." And I was like, "Wow, yeah, okay, yeah, it's great to meet you too, Hoppy. So, would you like to see my medal from the 101st Airborne?" Yeah, show it to us. So he reached into his pocket at the restaurant we met him at, and he pulled out these things from eBay. It was like, okay, interesting. You never know who you're going to meet in a person-person encounter. Yeah, I mean, you don't pull things you get off eBay to show how you're in the 101st Airborne and look like Hoppy. And I don't know why he thinks he can pull that off, but most people don't believe it. Take your meds now. Ask your nurse. Nurse, it's time for my meds. Ooh. Thanks for your characterization of our meeting with Hoppy. Yes, Rod is a professional of some sort. We don't know what, though. He seems to be a working man. He's a working stiff. I've only created barriers for people, Harkonnen. I follow through with everything. I'll throw a few roadblocks up like we did with Rodney to see how serious he was about calling in, and we found out that he's a serious caller. Sometimes you have to create a barrier, and if they don't want to pay, you know, or do anything to even become a participant, we have to say, okay, well, what benefits do we have? And it's a mutually beneficial relationship, I think. Who knows, someday Rodney might have an important Vaughn TV show like Awesome Carl. You know, he may launch his career like Awesome Carl launched his career on our back. Hey, it's me, Awesome Carl. Just calling in to say hi. And then pretty soon he's got all his viewers, and they're all watching him play Star Trek on his show. So maybe Rodney might, you know, man up and get some balls and run a show like Carl, like Awesome Carl. Not at all, Harkonnen. I'm straight up. I'm everything you see. What you see is what you get with me. I know. So Carl's got his own show now, and he's doing his thing with his Star Trek fans. I'm happy for him. And I hope Rodney finds a home, too, on the Internet, much like Carl did. It is the same. You're the same topic. It's Rodney. You should just call the show Rodney. Really. You just start doing your shtick. If you'd like, I'll start another show, and you can come in and be the main character. How's that, Rodney? Yeah, welcome to the Rodney Show. It's me, Rodney. Hey, everyone. Hey. You could be like the raging transgender or something. It'd be funny, Rodney. I think, you know, you could even broach that big divide of going on screen, which you can't seem to do. I'm sure, DT Laura, he's a professional of some sort. David is hitting Sarah from the front. What? Dude, you're so psychotic. There's something seriously messed up with you. We're going to ban you, angry Irish man. He sounds like a doctor. Well, 4 to 5 doctors do sound like Rodney. Hi, can I give you a colonoscopy? How about a pap smear? Yeah, I mean, most doctors are like that. Rodney, are you a doctor? Come on, tell the room. Reveal the inner secrets of Rodney. I know. Well, thanks, Bog Monster. I appreciate the fact that you enjoy my banter, but we're not just talking about banter. We're talking about ways to save money for the government. And I have lots of plans to get our country under a fiscal constraint. Obamacare, as you know, is a massive waste of money. I don't need to go into details to tell you how bad it is. Okay. Go ahead. What's your question now?
Hello, Mr. Discount Spot. How are you doing there, sir?
Yeah, speaking of people that need to get their own show, they had the Mr. Ed show at one time. It was a horse. You ever see it, Mr. Ed? That was before your time as a kid. You're much younger than me. Mr. Ed was a great show.
I have an idea about the Rodney's show because when I got out the shower,
Yeah.
I heard a little part bit of what you said.
Yeah.
You gotta give it a household name. Call it the Voice Impersonator Show.
Voice Impersonator Show, yeah. You know, I've constructed a website all dedicated to that. Guest 341 says that everybody's riding on my coattails, so maybe I should do my other show that I was talking about executing, where everybody could come in and do voiceover and impersonation stuff. So yeah, I have a whole new website developed, and it's right at the almost launch point. And once we do, I may do a couple hours during the day where we do that.
Imitate the voice.
Yeah, anybody who wants to imitate anybody else's voice would come into the show. I am setting up a radio show and a blog TV, a Vaughn TV show, but I haven't finalized it yet. I'm real close to putting something together for real. So you guys are onto something interesting. The thing about a political chat show, though, it's we deal with real problems. Now, you have personal issues about your situation. You know that you can't get in a better situation than you got right now, right? Are you pretty happy now that you have Dynamite? Are you pretty happy that you've got the Jimmy Walker, J.J. Walker impersonation? Are you happy that you actually have a place to stay?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want anything else from Uncle Sam, or is he tapped out for you? Do you think you've gotten enough?
You know, actually, I don't want nothing from Barack Obama.
No, I'm talking about Uncle Sam, because Barack Obama is just a temporary puppet in the middle of the stage. I'm talking about the government.
Equals Barack Obama.
The government is what's really dealing with us right now. Obama's not doing anything for you. There's no weak resolve at all, Harkonnen. You keep belaboring the point. My only weak resolve is allowing you to stay in the room. You're banned. Sarah's not irritable. She'd like to talk, but right now Ed is taking center stage. Ed, are you done with the call?
One more thing before I hang up.
Okay, what is it?
On that live link video, this is just a little humor. That white guy that was in the video, they kind of looked like you in disguise.
Okay, well, I don't do that stuff. But...
Get up on your shirt.
All right, thanks a lot. All right, Ed, I don't even know what the WikiLeaks video is talking about. Oh, the one that you just played earlier? Yeah, I was not in a police brutality situation. Yeah, you got to mute your damn speakers, Ed, when you do calls like that. Now, somebody said David is so boring. Tyler Hilton. Or no, Conrad. Was that from last night?
No, that's
just now? Wow. David is so boring. That really hurts my feelings. And Dodo is so stoned. And Sarah is not pissed. Okay. What makes me so boring? What's your question? What's your question? I don't get your question. Battle
I'm
camera.
not going to answer your question. No, don't even bother, David. Don't do that. Whatever.
Oh, okay. The answer is you don't have to be on the ballot to have views in America. You don't have to be on the ballot to be a citizen. So what you're saying is, if I'm not on the ballot, do I even count as a write-in candidate? Well, I wouldn't be running as a write-in candidate if more than 50% of my signs were not stolen in the previous election. So I'm doing everything I can to run against Larson. And this is just the beginning. Signs on every overpass, every off-ramp. Everywhere I could put these signs, they're going up. Save nature. Stop Larson. Because the guy ratifies the war. He's part of the war machine. He's why we've got jets flying over our head that we're never even going to use in war. He's part of the dinosaurs, the Neanderthals that have occupied the office of the Congress for the past 7 terms. All right. In this write-in election, I'm actually hoping that the Republican wins. I want balance. I want the Republicans to come back and take the Senate, this particular. It's the 2nd district here in Washington. The sign's only going up in the 2nd district. I'm sure your R&D is paying off.
Your views are just as important as mine.
I think you've come to a break point in your research, though. Your R&D is bound to stop working for you, Dodo. I do not have Bridge Commando.
I'm not
Sorry.
saying that my views are any more important than anyone else's views.
Thank you, Van Cam. All right, so we're saying that we have views just like any other person, but to negate a person's right to be engaged in politics because we're not on the ballot, and by the way, you cheated in the previous primary. I just want everyone to know that the competitors cheated by stealing my signs. This show has been done for 6 years now. We're in our 6th year. We've got 1,742 shows under our belt. I did a number count last night. This might be 1743, I think, or 44.
Boss Hog Outlaw, you can change all that. Then you can be the first one to vote where you live.
Yeah, be the first person in your neighborhood to actually learn how to spell.
David deserves media coverage because he is running for office and because he does want to help this country.
I've got great ideas. I'm the only person who's actually coming up with solutions to our economy right now. I'm the person who's got these solutions that'll kickstart the economy that we've got. It's currently in slow motion. I'd like to see American jobs and a homestead renewal plan. I'd like to get that going in cities across the nation using HUD funds. We're not using anybody for personal gain. That's BS. You're out of here. You're just angry that I banned you earlier. I am a genius. Sarah for First Lady or anything Sarah wants to be in 2016. Well, you know, I really am trying to get people to understand that this is a campaign to break the bow of the two-party tyranny over our nation. This is not some sort of a chance for you guys to romance Sarah or hit on me. This is a chance for all of us to work together to break the bow of the two-party control mechanism and the media control mechanism that's taken over our country. This is more important than your petty issues. You guys have got to understand this. We transcend all that. Sarah and I have been working on this for a long time, and we're not going to just sit back and ignore your concerns about the country. We're going to be here every night talking to you about what's wrong with you. But if you're voting with your PP, you're probably going to vote for me or Sarah. Sarah and I actually are very attractive people, and pretty soon will be even more attractive. So, yeah, your love for our beauty might just make you want to vote for us. Who knows? I'm one of the beautiful people, And unlike Marilyn Manson, I am not removing my nipples. I'm getting plastic surgery done on my body. I am enhanced by vitamins already. I'm on a daily dose. I've got plenty of time to rest right now. Now that I'm the funniest guy alive since Robin Williams died, I feel like it's just gravy time for me. I can kick back and enjoy the benefits of being the funniest man alive.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. Am I supposed to do something funny now?
Yeah, all the time.
What will I do to the UK? I'll initiate a plan to offer the UK trade. I'll sell them potatoes. Right. We'll avoid a potato famine in the UK. We got plenty of potatoes in America. Would you like some potatoes? America. That's right. You got it right, Berserk. America. Get the pronunciation right. The A is silent. It's America. Thank you, Van Cam.
Thanks, Laura.
Can she see you, David? She can see me anytime she wants. Well, I'm seeing an improvement. Thank you.
Thanks, Berserk.
I will use little words. I noticed that the Native Americans felt that white men speak with forked tongue. I'm going to speak with very few words and speak as if I am speaking, channeling through my Native American heritage. You know, I am part Algonquin. I have a little Algonquin in me. Not sure how long or big, but yes. Many moons ago, Sarah, White man came to this great land and tore down all the great trees and killed the buffalo. And now leaves totem pole crosses in the sky. It is an ancient Hopi story where man will be the destroyer. I have a Boris Karloff in me. Oh, really? A little Boris Karloff. I'm here now, so David, can you tell us some tips on getting his policy straightened out so they will actually work to the benefit of his constituency? Thanks, Topper Dan. Well, the first thing we're going to do, Topper Dan, is talk like you. I envision Topper Dan talking like that. Like, hey, everybody, it's me, Topper Dan. Good evening. That's all, folks. What do you think of a resource-based economy? I support a resource-based economy. I think that we go back to housing, back to the basics. We'll get our nation going. I think so long and so far we have just given Wall Street huge amounts of money and expected them to somehow help the people, and we all know they're not going to help the people. Wall Street's about profit, not about people. And in order to get the resource-based economy that we envision, GSSG, we're going to need to start building new programs that can launch those resources. Now, one of the biggest resources we have is our human resources. People that need work and obviously are going to have jobs. So I've modeled a plan after what FDR did with the WPA and the CCC. And we call it the Homestead Renewal Plan. And the Homestead Renewal Plan will create immediate jobs across the nation in 2017. Yep, these plans are actually all on our website if you want to check them out. Homestead Renewal Plan is out there. It's probably our lead plan to get the country jobs. $10 an hour will be the pay to work on houses, to fix them up. We're going to make houses look as nice as this house. We're going to create or renovate houses that are torn down and broken down and rebuild them. And that's central to creating a resource-based economy. Okay. Your turn, Sarah. Anything you want to talk about? Feel free. What will I do for Compton? Well, I know there's a lot of places like Doug's Donut Shop that could reopen. A lot of small businesses can happen there. Compton could have some gentrification. I remember when Compton used to be a nice place for a white guy to walk around. We can make it possible for people to feel safe in Compton someday. Well, cardboard is also cheaper, but also doesn't have the long-term construction value that these already pre-built stick frames have. Yeah. I think we could open a Doug's Donuts right down in central Compton, just like the one over in Gardena. If y'all want to talk about Compton, I'll talk about Compton all night long. No, Sarah's not drugged. She's just smiling profusely to deal with the chat. Did you pay for the Google Hangout site, David? We don't pay for Google Hangout, Ed. It comes for free. You can make many uses of internet by using Google Chrome and various other website management tool. Yeah, feel free, no problem. Nick Diaz, Topper? I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't have no beef with Nick. It's all good, man. I got no problem with no gang member. You want Mushu chicken? What about Mugu Gai Pan? What if I give you a little Mushu chicken and some Mugu Gai Pan for Topper? Well, we're not logging on to Stream Up tonight, Ed. Yeah. We're already too far into this to log on to Stream Up. Yeah, I think she is worried you're ill, mentally ill, Topper Dan. I think we're all a little worried about you, Topper Dan. You seem like you're at a meltdown point in your life. Is your mom no longer doing your laundry? What's going on in your life, Topper Dan? You never clown on the Chinese hard workers and educated. Hard to clown that. I hear you. Bog Monster, that's why we don't live in Taiwan like you do. But thanks. Well, let's be clear. We're going to try to make a good trade deal with China and give them all of our trade and get none in return. That's the kind of deal that Barack Obama is going to gun broker. And there's some serious military buildup going around the country, and that's a serious sign of waste. Here's just a small sampling of the military buildup that's going on in this nation. These military vehicles are being given, not sold, but given to municipalities. That's a serious problem. We don't want that happening under my administration. I'm going to be eliminating all the excess budget that the Department of Homeland Security is sucking up. You know, DHS is a $70 billion a year proposition now. Department of Homeland Security didn't even exist 13 years ago. Now it's cost $70 billion. No, you buy the free trade crap, that's ridiculous. Globalization has led to a lot of free garbage and lots of landfills filling up with plastic waste. I know, Rodney, you got a problem there. All right, what about the $70 billion Barack Obama just gave Israel? Did you guys, Ed brought that link in the other night. Yeah, Ed, thank you. My Secretary of Defense will be Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah. He'll just stand in front of everyone and go, I'm a cybernetic organism, human flesh over a mental exoskeleton. Mildred, where's my love child? I've got Maria on the phone. She wants more alimony. Ed has a great body. Good for procreating. Yeah, Ed's the kind of guy, 47-year-old guy that could really go out and have children right now. Come on, Uncle Lester, don't rub it in. Ed's just lucky to have an apartment, man, and you're rubbing it in, man. You're just working him down, picking on the low guy. Why do you do that so much, Uncle Lester? You feel good when you pick on Ed? All right, whatever. Well, Sarah, we got 30 minutes. Let's talk about something in particular, you know? Because I don't want to lose the momentum we've got going in our show. We're really clipping along at a good rate. I think we touched on a lot of issues regarding the government waste that we've been having problems with. Topper Dan, try not to psych me out because it's not working. You're only projecting your own weaknesses and insecurities onto the chat room. We can read your profile just simply by looking at your chat. I know. I can process all kinds of insecurities coming from you, Topper Dan. I know. So let's talk about what's next on the agenda of cutting waste. Streamlining government. They did a study about all the agencies in government, how they don't talk to each other or share.
Well, that's why the DHS was created.
I know, and it didn't solve the problem. That's the point. We're not even intelligent enough to realize that DHS didn't solve the 17 agency problem. They still don't have shared information. Let's talk about the economy, stupid. Okay, I will. And no, we cannot talk about sex all the time, guest 67306. No, she's not on the verge of anything. She's just, you know, processing information. We both read chat.
I'm fantastic.
We're both doing great. You know, someday we'll be able to just sit on the show and smile. Someday. I want to be able to do that. It'll happen soon. We'll just...
Well, I thought there's so many things that
are going on.
Are upsetting in the world.
Tell me about it. It's like processing one thing after another. From Missouri to Syria. Now they're turning it into a journalist thing. Syrian targets the journalists. Well, why are we embedding journalists when we lost 300 and some odd in Syria, in Iraq, and Afghanistan? Why are we sending more journalists into harm's way? We don't learn from our mistakes.
It's not that we're sending them in harm's way. We're not saying you have to go out and put yourself in harm's way. They're choosing to do that to bring us those stories. I mean, I think they should be commended for doing so.
Well, commended, yes, but we don't need embedded troops in Syria. A lot of it's hype right now. The Ferguson thing is designed to trigger racial hostility. The Zimmerman, Trayvon Martin thing didn't do it, so they're working on Ferguson now. They're trying to trigger some sort of rioting in America so they can usher in a new world order and take down all of us and destroy our personal lives. You can play it in the background.
Thanks, Laura.
Thank you for that link. School starts next week in Washington, you're right. Well, the law itself, what I want to do is cut funding, federal funding, to cities that have brutality issues going on, where the police are still on the force. The accused police officer in a brutality charge has to be suspended and not on pay for me to send a check from the federal government to a municipal government. That's the kind of change I'm looking at.
But David mentioned,
where it's going to cost them.
I agree with you that we don't. I think that you know, journalists embedded with troops, it's a way for them to in a way glorify war.
Right.
And I guess that's not necessary.
It's not necessary, and we don't need to make big hype about what's happening. I don't think we can put UAVs hovering over a battlefield just as easily as we could put some innocent journalist in harm's way. Yeah, Fast and Furious was Eric Holder's breach of executive privilege. He will be prosecuted for that. I know, I spelled quickly because I was simply hitting the keypad. Normally I would send that through psychic means. I don't think public spankings are good because it turns many people on, like Mr. Wong. Mr. Wong likes to see people spanked, so we don't want to cater to your fantasy fetish, Mr. Wong. Yeah, well, no, top or down, it's just it would simply require municipal governments to instantly put that police officer on suspension with no pay. If they didn't comply and we heard that they were still on the farce, we would definitely be cutting the federal monies to that municipal government. We want to see less traffic cops and more detectives. We want to see more cops on the beat than in some car running people down and then jumping out attacking people. The more people on the beat, the less likely you're going to see a lot of street crime going on. That's been proven time and time again. Street cops driving in cars look intimidating, and that's where a lot of money is going right now. And it may help the cop on his trip to the donut store and to get his cup of coffee and make him feel safer. But if he's not willing to take risks of going into the street with a bulletproof jacket on, then he doesn't have to be a cop. He can be a detective. Cops aren't all bad, exactly. But if they're going to join the force, they better make sure it's not a farce. And when we see brutality charges like the one in Ferguson, Missouri, explode, this guy didn't need to push farther and deeper to apprehend this guy when he got the cigars and pushed the guy. The next step was to taser the guy. My question is, why didn't he pull his taser out? Why did he go to his gun? And why wasn't his gun strapped down? Did the guy grab the gun? Why wasn't the guy using a taser? There's a lot of questions I have about the protocol used, and I'm sure IA will do a deep investigation and come up with the answers. But this is exactly what I'd need as a president before I release federal money to that municipality. This is called leadership. What I'm talking about right now is leadership, not what we're seeing from this feckless president, Barack Obama, who just sits there in glad hands and tells you what you want to hear. I know they're trained to use lethal force when someone attacks them. I understand that. But if the man is unarmed, they're trained to just shoot to maim, not shoot to kill. So a lot of protocol was breached in this particular incident. I'm not going to get into details, but I'm not a police officer and I'm not a criminologist. But I can tell you that it does seem to me that this can be mitigated in the future. Well, I'm all in favor, Mr. Wong, of everyone bearing arms. I support the Second Amendment 100%. Shoot to stop, right, not shoot to kill. Thanks, Bob Oltre. Well, you know, we've got a very vibrant chat, and if you have any questions you'd like to ask Sarah, please feel free to ask her. I want to bring her out a little bit. She's been, you know, monitoring chat, but I think what we need is some, you know, input. And please keep it on a political tone. Thank you. I know. People are saying career choices. Oh, gosh. I have to ban this person. What's your expertise? She's a teacher. She's an educator. She understands everything about education. That's her expertise.
My favorite subject is math, but I'm not by any way. I wouldn't consider myself an expert in that field, considering I haven't taken either calculus. I haven't studied either.
But you know the basics, and you teach kids the basics very well. And you know you got to make math interesting if people want to do it. And you know most kids today don't realize if they don't do their math problems, they'll never get it.
Right. You have to actually sit down and do it.
Yeah. You have to do it. Without doing the math problems, it's impossible.
One of my favorite websites is Math is Power for You. I actually found it through Roku.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Power of You.
Power for You.
Power4you.
The number 4 and then the letter U.
Oh, cool. So Power4you.com.
Yeah, and he has all kinds of videos. He's kind of like Khan Academy, but for college level.
Yeah.
I can do anything, 2189, almost anything. Okay, I'm not a mechanic, but...
Top or down, we won't have any problems with safety issues. Most likely, cops today don't actually perform a serious preventative protection for people. Most cops today are cleanup crews that come in after the fact, once a crime has been committed. So there's no proof that Top or Dan is actually speaking from any statistical expertise here. There's no valid statistic that would verify that cops prevent crime.
Have you actually read through the Common Core State Standards, Bog Monster? And what they expect all students to know? Yeah, I could probably help you with your math college work until you got into calculus.
You know, if you have a genuine interest in math, you're going to... Thank you. So Al-Qaeda wants to write me in. Thank you. Excellent.
I have plenty of willpower.
If you haven't... I was a math whiz. I went through 7 years of mathematics in 1 year at the age of 15. I went on to go to 2 years of college calculus, and I went to college at the age of 16. And I got A's. And I got to tell you, I did all that without actually being in love with math. Math was not the love of my life. I did it, I enjoyed it, but it was a chapter in my life. I didn't find it application in real life. And if you don't see the application, like right now, if you're a young student, want to study calculus, you will be able to actually do gaming, coding for games that you play, like Xbox and PlayStation 4. You can actually get a career in that with your math knowledge. So if you prep and get calculus under your belt by the age of 16, 17, you should be able to go on and get graphic arts and computer gaming as your possible career opportunity. I just didn't have that when I was going to school back in the 70s. There was no offer of computer gaming. There was a computer programming in the late 80s, but it was real rudimentary. It was not enjoyable. But if you got to see applications for math, otherwise you'll never really enjoy it. Well, I'm not asking all of you to become gaming programmers. I'm asking all of you to just find a thing that you enjoy. It doesn't mean that you have to make it your career. But if it blossoms into something you like, feel free. I'm not jealous of Bill Gates. He was a very rich young kid. His mother is one of the richest women in Seattle, and his father's one of the richest lawyers in Seattle. So he was just a really rich kid that got richer. I'm not jealous of really rich kids that get richer. I'm angry that the system allows money to get more money. I'm angry that the system caters to people with money instead of people with opportunity and the ability to grow and improve themselves. Money shouldn't be something that begets more money. We're literally creating another monarchy here with the technocracy that we have. You know, I'm doing a lot of work during the day developing a thing that I'm probably going to do a daily radio show about this because I can't talk about it in this venue. I, believe it or not, have a lot of really deep political issues and economic issues I need to address. And our show during the evening doesn't really give me a chance to expound on these issues. I really would love to be able to talk on all the issues at great length, but I don't want to bore all of you. Thank you, 958. I gladly give you all the information you'd like to talk about politics, but I'm no longer actively pursuing mathematics. It's not something I'm interested in anymore. So you're kind of wasting my time. I'd rather talk about our country right now, and that's the chosen area. That's what I enjoy doing. I didn't choose mathematics because as a career because I don't really enjoy talking about it or telling you all about Fourier series or matrix derivatives or any number of things that I was studying, what, 35 years ago? So it's not really important to me. But politics is. So that's why I'm thinking I'd like to march, yeah. Well, I am marching around the area, putting up signs, trying to get this guy not elected. Basically, the entire Democratic war machine has gotten really corrupt. And they're leading our nation into war. And all these people like this Rick Larson guy, who I'd like to beat, I'd gladly talk about that stuff, but like I said, it doesn't interest me. I only talk about things that interest me. This guy ratified the war in Iraq, which I didn't do. This guy has been endorsing flyovers that literally fly over this bridge right here, which is where we live. And it causes a tremendous amount of danger to the environment. And this guy doesn't really care about the EIS report, even though he's now saying he wants to open it up to complaints. He's basically a liar. And he's only pandering to the Washington people. All right. All right, we're up and running. Go ahead. Hey, how you doing, man?
Hey, brother, I got to get running. I can't wait till midnight. I just want to thank everybody for coming out. I want to thank the best co-hosts in the business, Sarah and Dave. Sarah, I love it when you smile, baby. And remember, when you get sick of Dave,
hey, thanks for calling, Rodney. It's really nice to have your voice. It warms the cockles of my heart, as opposed to the heart of my cockles. Yeah, it's great to have you in and listen to your egomaniacal voice. All right, let's talk more about things we can solve in the next few minutes, all right? Now, when we talk about Wasteful Wednesday, we talk about not only government waste, but personal waste. Can you imagine what it would be like to live my life without any debt, without any credit card debt whatsoever, without any mortgage, without any extreme expense like healthcare nightmares and all this? Wouldn't it be great to live the life of David? I'd like to show you how I've done this over the past 5 years. It's called freedom. I know. It's great. I stopped my garbage pickup service because I knew it was costing me $450 a year. I now recycle all my stuff, and whenever I have plastic waste, I drop it off at a gas station garbage can because I'm paying $4 a gallon for gas or whatever. I got rid of extraneous expenses. I'm kind of the Susie Orman of the internet here in a way because I've learned to cut extraneous expenses and get my personal finances under control. In order to do this, you have to have a certain personality. Hang on just a second. We got a person I gotta.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to add this to your stocking file there, Topper Dan. Yeah, I'm just going to add it to your stocking file. Hang on.
It's gone.
All right. Okay, continue. A lot of bills keep climbing for a lot of people. I got rid of garbage pickup, Amy. Yeah, I recycle everything I have. Get Colt? Really? Colt should, from Vaughn, really? 382 thinks Colt should be running with me? Jogging? I'm not dumping my garbage in big quantities. I have a small bag of plastic waste that I cannot recycle. Usually, all my plastic bags go in the recycle bin at the market, but occasionally I'll get these containers. You know the ones that I can't really get rid of? are the milk containers that are plastic or waxed cardboard. And that's another problem. The condoms are definitely a problem to recycle. Yeah. So I've turned them all into small balloons that fly above me and help lift me when I walk down the street. No, the blackface video hasn't killed anything, Topper Dan. The blackface video is my tool that I'm using to pry my way into American politics. I will prove to you over time that not only did it not hurt me, it's actually going to help me. Because you are living in a dream world thinking Obama's policies are going to somehow turn into a recovery. You still think the economy is getting better or something. I mean, you don't realize that the blackface video that I did is prophecy, actual prophecy, that I literally tried to paint you folks a picture about what you were doing when you mindlessly voted for Barack Obama without vetting his background. The next blackface video I do October 31st, and the ancillary videos accompanying it, because I'm putting a package together, will be a mind blower for a lot of you. You're about ready to see me break into the mainstream media. And you'll wonder how it happened that a person did a blackface video and somehow became national phenom. Well, it's going to happen, and it's the way it's going to happen, because it can't happen any other way. The American people have had their voice shut down by the mainstream media. The powerful elitists have used their power and their money to tell what we see to us and define what we see and what we hear to us. It's called propaganda. And we don't need propaganda. We need answers. We need people talking. We need people communicating on all different levels. Topper Dan, you have no idea what's coming. It's more than funny. We wouldn't have all these viewers in here if it wasn't funny. It's not going to ruin my chances either. Not at all. You're going to sit back, GSSG, and watch my career take off over the next 2 years. And you're all going to wonder, Bish, are you been hitting the bottle? Uh-oh. And my career will take off the next 2 years, whether you like it or not. I'm broadcasting on 6 networks, 958. This one chat room you're in is just one of our chat rooms. I'm still talking to you, Hill. I'm not going to stop talking to you. Look at folks, we've done over 1,740 shows. I counted them last night. All 3 hours or more in length. When we get done with what we're doing, we'll have done 20,000 or 2,000 shows. When we reach the pinnacle in 2016, we will have done 2,000 shows, put in over 6,000 to 7,000 hours in airtime. That's solid commitment. Nothing about you tainting my personal political profile with your accusation of racism will affect me. I'm not a racist, never have been. You can't pin that tail on the donkey. I'm a person who is simply parodying the president using satire as the only means possible to break through this incredible control mechanism the mainstream media has put over your mind. It's totally funny, and you're such an idiot. No, not at all. You guys are, you know, what's really ironic is you keep coming in here, all you haters. I have some great ideas, Spectra, thank you. All you haters come in here and attack our show, and you know something? Every single year you come in here and there's more people in the show. Every single time you come in here. Humor is the best here sometimes, yeah. But this is what really is upsetting a lot of you trolls. The fact that I'm making headway against the tide. That's right, Rodney, thank you. We're making headway against the tide. It's freaking people out. And not many people are left standing there holding this racism tag against me when they hear me out and hear what I'm really all about and how I want to end racial profiling, how I want to make sure we all have equal opportunity in America, whether you're white, black, Hispanic, or Asian. Not at all, Hill. No. There's a lot of components to this entire show. And we're broadcasting on other networks, too. We're on Ustream. Right now, we've got viewers over there we're responding to. We've got people over in iVlog. We've got people at uVlog. Actually, I don't think we're on iVlog tonight, are we?
No.
No, we're not on iVlog tonight, but we are on Hangout. I chose this venue 6 years ago because I really believe that it's the only way I'm going to be able to break through this incredibly locked up media that refuses to allow Americans to speak out. I've not heard of this guy named Von Helton, no. God, this Topper Dan is an idiot. I don't even know why you're in here, man. I'm going to stop responding to you. Do they have that mute feature?
Yeah.
Oh,
Spelled ignore.
ignore it? They still have it? Good. Okay, thank God. I've never talked badly about Jews or gays. I support lesbian, bi, transgender, gay rights, totally. Yes. I don't love fags in that way. I mean, you're saying I'm gay? I'm not. All right. But I do support, you know, laws that protect people from being discriminated against, and that's what the ERA is about, Equal Rights Amendment, that I'm proposing.
What kind of videos are you going to play for people tonight?
Well, I'm thinking of playing videos that are relevant to social topics, possibly. You know, the idea of social issues taking center stage, because obviously Wednesday is one of those social evenings. Yeah. We can also play some videos about marijuana tonight.
Or you can play videos off of YouTube, but I know you don't do that.
Well, it's just hard to keep them rolling out. You're not a bigot and you don't support fags? What are you then? A homophobic nice person? Yeah, so exactly who are you and why do you want to label yourself? I don't believe in labels. I don't call myself a person of any particular variety. I'm a centrist. That's the only label I'll put on myself. That's what I believe in, trying to eliminate labels. That would be really good. Just talk about the issues every night. That would be really beneficial for all of us. If you can do that, everything will be just fine. Yeah, that video that Candy Rain sent us, Leaf, is really good. The health benefits of marijuana. Okay, I'll play the one of the brutality videos, Call the Cops. I'll play the full loop. Okay. We all are a lot more than just a simple person in a chat room. We all have a lot more to say. I know that. I try to use the time as best I can to eliminate conflict. But obviously there's not enough time in the day to talk about every issue that comes under the sun. But we want to get to some of the issues on a daily basis that you guys... I have sold many books. I don't have the number right now because it's in another room and we haven't calculated it. Thank you for asking. I know a lot of you are terribly attracted to Sarah and I, and it's difficult for you to get through the show without masturbating. But please, keep the tone political. Thank you. I don't like talking about sex on our show. I really appreciate that. Focus on politics, not sexting. The last thing I want to talk about is that. I'm not Geraldo Rivera. I'm not Anthony Weiner. I'm a guy, an average American, who just wants to get people to find some compromise somewhere. Okay, I've got this video from Eric Holder that says we must brainwash people about guns.
We'll start it with that.
We'll start it with that. I've got a couple more videos for you. One person, for Tony Blair, he claims Tony Blair is a war protester, or basically shouting that Tony Blair is a war criminal. I've got one of those. And then we'll play you the Leaf video. All right, great. This should give you a little bit to watch tonight, everyone. Thank you for coming in. We've got 2 more minutes here. Okay, I got another good one on ABC's John Carl grills the White House for over 8 minutes for rewriting history on the Benghazi story. That's another good one. Benghazi's been a cover-up from the get-go. Okay, I'll play that after Leaf. Okay, we got a lineup for y'all. Thank you so much. Yeah, so Bish is in. She's going to keep you company for a while. You guys can chat about whatever is on her mind, vodka, whatever else you want to talk about. Rodney's hitting on Bish. That's what's going on. Whew. Got a lot of fun people over there at Vaughn. You guys at Battle Cam, thank you for coming in. It's been a good night for you guys. I'm sure you want to talk about a lot of things, but you can't really chat too well because Battle Cam doesn't seem to have a good chat show. But we'll know in November 4th whether we're going to be able to deal with the corruption from the Democratic Party. We're going to find out if there are people that are going to write my name in this upcoming election. We're going to find out how many people really care about building a political movement in America. Where a lot of you have basically fallen into the category of being brainwashed sloths who sit and just accept whatever is told to you by the mainstream media and don't ever come up with an original thought on your own. So at least you're coming into a show and engaging in some social life with people that are not even in your face every day. That's nice. I did pay income tax when I worked and had a serious career, and I had to give all that up because of bad business in America due to Bush and Obama. So now, because I make less than a certain amount of money every year, I don't have to pay taxes. I'm living off savings. Thank God I was able to save up money and prepare for the future. I'm not gay, 658. Yeah. But thanks for coming in. Bish thinks it's funny. Bish, do you think I'm gay? Seriously. Topper Dan, you're getting personal. I'm going to ban you. Even Topper Dan, too. Thanks. He found out he wasn't being listened to, so he came in with a new name. It's been a great show, though. I mean, this has been one of the most active nights. This channel is the best. Thanks, B100. This has been one of the most active nights in our entire show history. And like I said, we're up to 1,744 shows. Thank you, DJ Stingy. Yeah, Sarah Hart still has the calendar. Rodney, are you going to send one to Bish? I wouldn't accept any mail directly from him. It could be tainted with some unknown precious bodily fluid. Thank you, Bish, for not trusting him. Remember that shampoo you sent, Rodney, and then you claimed you did that thing in the shampoo? Ugh. Take care, everyone. Any last words?
Yeah, it's on my Facebook.
It's on my Facebook. Thank you. Take care, everyone. Good night.
Facebook.com/thirdparty.
It's on our Facebook, facebook.com/thirdparty, if you want to get that calendar. See you tomorrow for Technology Thursday.
And I think too many of our young people, and particularly our young men, are fascinated with violence, and in particular fascinated with guns. To make a part of every day some kind of anti-violence, anti-gun message. Every day, every school, at every level. One thing that I think is clear with young people and with adults as well is that we just have to be independent about this. It's not enough to simply have a catchy ad on a Monday and then only do it every Monday. We need to do this every day of the week and just really brainwash people into thinking about guns in a vastly different way.
Brainwash people.
And just really brainwash people into thinking about guns, and just really brainwash people into thinking about guns.
Tell her where it is. Yes, just say yes, bitch.
J.P. Morgan paid him off for the Iraq war. 3 months after we invaded Iraq, they held up the Iraq plan for $20 billion. It was then paid $6 million every year, and still is from J.P. Morgan 6 months after he left office. So not in a war.
Let me turn this off.
Yep.
Take care, Hangouter. See you next time.